Have you ever wondered why so many people seem to lose their spark after 80? Even if they were vibrant and full of life just a few years before, it's easy to think it's all about genetics or just plain luck. But the truth runs deeper than that. In this video, we're diving into 5 surprising reasons, often overlooked and rarely talked about. These reasons can quietly shorten life after 80. They aren't the usual things like diet or exercise, but subtle hidden factors that creep in, even for those who've done everything right. The best part, once you understand them, you can take small steps to protect your vitality and keep thriving. So if you're curious about what really shapes longevity, stick with me and learn how to age with grace and strength. These insights might just change the way you think about growing older. Let's get started. Let's start with the first reason so many folks struggle to thrive past 80: emotional suppression from loss and isolation. By the time you reach your 80s, life has likely handed you more goodbyes than most younger people can imagine. A spouse, a sibling, a dear friend, maybe even a child. The world might offer kind words or a pat on the shoulder, but what's rarely talked about is how those losses pile up, not just in your heart, but in your body. After 80, it's not always the sharp sting of grief that weighs you down. It's the quiet habit of holding it all in, of swallowing the pain instead of letting it out. You might feel like you should be used to it by now, or maybe there's no one left who truly gets the depth of what you've lost. So you put on a brave face, tell everyone you're fine, and keep those feelings locked away. But here's the truth your body doesn't forget. When you don't let yourself grieve, when you don't speak, share, or feel that sadness, it doesn't vanish. It settles inside you, turning into a physical weight. It can mess with your immune system, your digestion, your sleep. It shifts your hormones and keeps your nervous system in a state of silent tension. You might look calm on the outside, but if your shoulders feel heavier, your breath's a little shallower, or your spark just isn't as bright, that unexpressed grief could be. Why? I knew a man named George, 86, who lost his wife of 60 years. He didn't cry much. Said it wasn't his way. Said he was okay, but within a year, he'd lost weight. Stopped going to the senior center and couldn't sleep well. It wasn't an illness. It was the sorrow his body was carrying, never given a chance to breathe. The thing is, emotional pain doesn't have to be loud to hurt you. It can be quiet creeping, and by the time it shows up in your health, you might not connect the dots. What keeps people vibrant past 80 isn't just physical health. It's letting their heart speak. It's saying, I miss her, or I'm lonely, or I'm still angry, without fear of judgment. That release is what lets your heart breathe again. And when your heart breathes, your body can heal. People who live long, full lives often have a way to let those feelings out. Maybe it's a trusted friend who listens, a journal where they pour out their thoughts, a faith that holds them, or even a therapist who helps untangle the stories they've carried. It doesn't matter how you do it. The key is not letting that pain stay buried. If you've been holding something in, not because you want to, but because you don't know where to put it, it's time to make space. Let yourself feel even just a little. It's not just about easing your heart. It's about protecting your life. Because a heart that's allowed to feel, to hurt, to heal, is a heart that keeps beating strong, carrying you forward with light and purpose. Now, let's move on to the second reason. Many people don't thrive past 80-something. I call overcautious inactivity. It starts with the best intentions, and on the surface it even feels like wisdom, being careful. But there's a thin line between caution and shutting down movement altogether. Crossing that line can quietly steal your strength. It often begins with a small scare. Maybe you tripped on a step, or you felt unsteady on the sidewalk one day, so you decide to play it safe. You stop taking walks, avoid bending down to grab something from a low shelf, or skip climbing into the back seat of a car. You sit more, stay still longer, and the people around you nod in approval. Take it easy, they say. Don't push yourself. But here's what no one tells you. When you stop moving, your body doesn't just rest. It starts to fade. Your body isn't like a car that stays shiny when parked. It's more like a garden that needs constant care to flourish. When you cut back on movement, even with good reason, your strength doesn't just pause. It slips away. And it's not just your arms or legs that feel it, your core. Those deep muscles in your trunk that help you stand, walk, or even get up from a chair starts to weaken fast. I saw this with a neighbor, Walter, who was 82. He loved his evening walks. But after a slip on a rainy day, he got spooked. No broken bones, just a shaken confidence, so he swapped his walks for the couch watching TV most nights. Within 6 months, his legs felt unsteady. He'd lost muscle, and simple tasks became a struggle. Walter didn't stop because he was weak. He became weak because he stopped. Now, I'm not saying you should ignore real risks. There are smart ways to stay safe using handrails, wearing sturdy shoes, or even a cane, if it helps. But there's a difference between being careful and letting fear take the wheel. When you stop moving, because of what might happen, your body starts to forget how to move at all. It's like telling your muscles, your balance, your heart, that they're not needed anymore. And that's when things spiral. So if you've noticed you're doing less, not because you can't, but because you're afraid, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, am I protecting my body, or am I slowly letting it fade? Because living well past 80 isn't just about avoiding falls. It's about keeping your body in motion, even if it's slower, gentler, or more deliberate. Every step, every stretch, every small effort reminds your body it's still needed. And that's what keeps your heart pumping and your spirit alive. Let's move on to the third reason. So many folks find it hard to thrive past 80. The gradual loss of daily purpose. This one's sneaky because it's not about chasing some grand, life-changing mission. It's about the small, everyday reasons that get you out of bed. Those little things that give your day shape, like watering your plants before the sun gets too hot, feeding the stray cat that lingers by your door, or writing a note to your grandchild. These aren't big deals. But when they start slipping away, something inside you quietly dims, and it can make all the difference. As we age, it's easy for these daily rhythms to fade. Maybe your weekly card game got canceled, or the church group you loved stopped meeting. Perhaps your family visits less often, or your knees ache too much to keep up with that volunteer job you used to do. You tell yourself it's just part of getting older, that it's normal for life to slow down, but deep down you feel it. The days start blending together, each one a little emptier than the last. Without those small purposes, your body and mind start to listen. Your appetite might fade, your steps might slow, and your systems, the ones that keep you healthy, start to go quiet. Not because they're broken, but because they're waiting for a reason to wake up. I once met a woman named Ruth, 88, who radiated life in a way that made you forget her age. She wasn't rich, her health wasn't perfect, and she didn't have a big family around her. But she had something special purpose. Every Monday, she wrote postcards to folks in her church who couldn't get out. Every Thursday, she made soup for a local shelter and froze it. And every afternoon at 4 p.m., she sat by her window to wave at the neighborhood kids walking home from school. She knew their names, and they waved back. Those simple acts weren't glamorous, but they gave her days texture and meaning. They kept her heart beating with rhythm, her life tethered to something bigger than herself. Here's the secret no one tells you. Your body stays alive as long as it feels needed. Even the tiniest purpose, like tending a garden, calling a friend, or saying a morning prayer, is like fuel. It tells your cells to keep repairing, your brain to keep learning, your heart to keep going. But when you feel like your presence doesn't matter anymore, that spark starts to flicker. So if your days have started to feel shapeless, like there's no reason to get moving, don't brush it off. That's your body asking for a rhythm again, for something to anchor you. Find one small thing, a ritual, a task, a connection that makes you feel like you're still part of the world. Because living past 80 isn't just about your heart beating, it's about your heart wanting to beat day after day with purpose and grace. Now let's talk about the fourth reason many folks struggle to thrive past 80. The quiet fading of what experts call microsocial engagement. Now this isn't about your closest friendships or big family gatherings. Those are important, of course. I'm talking about the little everyday moments of connection, the ones you might not even notice until they're gone. Think about the quick smile you share with the mail carrier, the small talk with the cashier at the grocery store, or that friendly nod to a neighbor walking their dog. These tiny interactions might seem like nothing, but they're like gentle sparks that keep your spirit and mind alive. As we get older, especially after 80, these moments can slip away. Maybe you're not heading to the store as often, relying on online orders or family to pick things up. Perhaps your hearing isn't as sharp, so chatting with strangers feels harder. Or maybe the weather's too chilly, or your knees feel wobbly, so you stay inside more. It's easy to think you're just simplifying life, but here's the thing. When those small social touchpoints fade, so does a piece of your vitality. Those brief hellos and smiles do more than brighten your day. They calm your nervous system, remind you that you belong, and keep your brain's social circuits firing. I've seen it firsthand with folks in their 80s who stay sharp and lively just by keeping these habits alive. Take my friend Tom, for example. Every morning he walks to the same coffee shop, says hi to the barista, and waves to the same few regulars. It's just 5 minutes, but it gives his day a rhythm. It makes him feel seen, like he's still part of the world. Without even realizing it, those moments are like medicine, keeping his mood steady, his mind engaged, and his body signaling that he's still in the game. But when these interactions disappear, it's not just about feeling a bit lonely. Your brain feels that loss like a stressor. It can mess with your hormones, spark inflammation, and even weaken your immune system. Over time, it starts to dim the parts of your brain that handle memory, focus, and emotions, making you feel older than you are. If you've noticed you're not chatting as much during the day, skipping errands, or feeling a bit invisible in your community, it's time to pause and notice. Those small connections, even the ones that feel forgettable, are telling your body and soul that you still matter. And trust me, that's one of the most powerful ways to keep your light burning bright. Let's move to the 5th reason. So many people struggle to thrive past 80 disrupted sleep cycles caused by irregular light exposure. Inside your body, there's a quiet clock, not one that ticks, but one that guides almost everything. It shapes your mood, your energy, your immune system, even how your brain heals while you sleep. After 80, this clock called your circadian rhythm gets extra sensitive. One of the biggest things that throws it off is not getting the right kind of light at the right time. Too little sunlight during the day, too much artificial light at night. It sounds simple, but it can make a world of difference. You might not notice it happening at first. Maybe you've started dozing off in the afternoon, catching a nap in a sunny chair, or perhaps you're spending more time indoors, especially when it's cold outside. At night, you might keep the TV on late, scroll on your phone, or leave bright lights glowing while you read. These habits seem harmless, but they confuse your body's sense of when to be awake and when to rest. Natural light in the morning tells your brain it's time to wake up, get moving, and feel alive. Darkness at night cues the release of melatonin, that gentle hormone that helps you sink into deep restorative sleep. But when you miss out on daytime sunlight or flood your evenings with artificial light, those signals get jumbled. The result, you might struggle to fall asleep or wake up feeling groggy even after a full night in bed. Your energy might drag, or your memory might feel a bit hazy. Over time, this sleep disruption does more than leave you tired. It weakens your immune system, makes your mood less steady, and can even raise the risk of memory problems. There's also the matter of vitamin D. Your body makes it from sunlight. After 80, your skin isn't as good at producing it, so getting outside becomes even more important. Without it, your bones, muscles, and immune system can take a hit. I remember a woman named Helen, 84, who was feeling worn out and foggy for no clear reason. Her diet was fine, her blood work was normal, but her spark was dimming. Her doctor suggested something simple. Spend 20 minutes every morning by an open window letting the sunlight in. Turn off all screens and mirror. An hour before bed. Within 2 weeks, her sleep was deeper, her mind sharper, and her mood brighter. It wasn't a fancy fix, just light used the right way. So if you've been staying indoors with the curtains drawn, or lighting up your evenings with screens, try a small shift. Step outside in the morning, even if it's just to sit on your porch for a few minutes. Let the daylight wake your body up. At night, dim the lights and ease into darkness. These gentle changes aren't just about comfort. They're about keeping your body's rhythms in sync, telling it even at 85 that you're still here, still ready for the day. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a gentle truth. Fading after 80 doesn't happen in a single moment. It's not one big event, like a diagnosis or a fall that changes everything. It's the slow, quiet drift of small habits, rhythms and reasons to stay connected that can dim your light. But here's the beautiful part. You have the power to shift things. It doesn't take grand gestures. One short walk in the morning, one kind word to a neighbor, one moment where you let yourself feel or find a small purpose. Those are the threads that weave a vibrant life. Think about the 5 reasons we've explored today. Which one hit home for you? Which one feels like a call to act, even in a tiny way, starting now? Because aging well isn't about stopping time. It's about living fully in it on your terms. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below. Share one thing you're taking away, or how you'll bring a little more light to your days. If this video spoke to you, please give it a like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need these words. Your support keeps us going, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Here's to living long and living well.